biggest thing for me is I want to try and get my protein intake, especially for gym and also just like my own protein goals and stuff. That's the hardest thing for me, I think.
All right. So, first off, nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name's Austin.
Austin, nice to meet you. I'm Nick. How's it going? Not much. We're just out here kind of talking about, does anybody have, they don't have a sign, but anyways, we're kind of talking about oppression, essentially. Like, do you think just because someone is maybe stronger than someone else or smarter, like, do you think that gives them the right to, like, oppress someone else?
I do not, no.
Right, and I agree. We all agree. I think anybody who doesn't agree is probably got something wrong in their head.
I don't think that, maybe that's not the wrong. I think it might be like sometimes people they don't want to lose their power over people. So I think that could be that time somebody answer that.
Yeah, but we agree. It's wrong. Shouldn't happen. So how do you kind of feel about flipping the script a little bit? How do you feel like kind of about the animals, for instance, we send into slaughterhouses, used for like in vivisection laboratories, for medical testing, as well as like in circuses, zoos, or for like clothing? You know, do you feel like we're kind of oppressing them? Like we have power over them, and you know, whether we should do these things or not, we're kind of just dominating and oppressing them.
For sure. I think generally, I think you're right as well. I think for food, I would love to see things that are more sustainable. It's not that I'm like try not to, but I do think I would love to try and stay away from animal harm and oppression in that sense as well.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of veganism by any chance?
Veganism, I have, yes.
Yeah. What do you like? If you were to kind of like describe it to me, like how would you?
My sister was vegan for I think almost 3 years, and so I kind of got to watch her experience. From her diet that she had, that wasn't really sustainable for me, to be honest. Just like for me, like something like protein intake, but also like how I value and like be like satiated from food, just like flavorfully. I would be interested. I think that's my answer.
Yeah. So are you kind of? I'd say you kind of see it like as like a diet, or like that's kind of how you describe it. Like it's kind of like a dietary.
I see the diet. I would say I subscribe to the psychology as well, though. Like I do want to try and stay away from harming animals like that.
Yeah. Kind of how we like to define it is like not necessarily a diet. It's just like an ethical stance, essentially against human exploitation, right? Not human exploitation. Well, I mean exploitation in general, just of sentient beings. Like we can, I guess, can categorize humans into that, but like typically it's focused on non-human animals, right? But just the exploitation of sentient beings. Like if we don't need to do these things, should we continue to exploit and harm them?
Yes.
And if you found out, for example, like you could be healthy on a plant-based diet and like get all the nutrients you needed, get all your protein, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. If it was accessible and it was affordable and it was especially convenient, I think is the right word, I would be vegan today.
If we like were to show you resources and I gave you resources, would you be willing to like look in and like, in terms of like, the convenience and...
I'd love to, honestly,
yeah?
Yes.
Cool.
The biggest thing for me is I want to try and get my protein intake, especially for gym and also just like my own protein goals and stuff. That's the hardest thing for me, I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's tons of protein sources obviously within plants, but there are, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, there are some vegan bodybuilders that there's Brian Turner, I think is one you can look up, big guy, huge, completely vegan, obviously he goes to the gym. There's Patrick Babumian, believe he's a power lifter. I don't know a bunch off the top of my head, to be honest, but I mean, they're out there. Obviously, there's tons of vegan bodybuilders, and they'd all say the same thing, right? You can get tons of protein. There's also Danny Ishay on Instagram and TikTok. I don't know if he's on TikTok. I think he might just be on Instagram, but he doesn't make necessarily exclusively bodybuilding content, but like he's a buff guy. He works out. So I have a resource card. This is our website, so that's where you'll find our resources.
Yes.
Nutritionfacts.org. There's also 10 weeks of vegan. I don't know if I think it's on the website. There's also a thing called Challenge 22 where you can actually speak to a plant-based dietitian. They can actually help with all your concerns and like set kind of like a plan for you in terms of like inconvenience, costs. You can like tell them all about that. And there's also a documentary called Dominion. It's just a documentary that kind of goes over everything that happens to animals, whether that's in the food industry, the clothing industry, laboratories. So I just like encourage people to watch that just to see what's happening, and like if people do continue to purchase these products, I think it's just important to be an informed consumer.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I encourage you watch that. There's also on our website there is a 3-minute version of that, because the full documentary, I think it's like 2 hours. It is a bit of a hard watch. There's a lot of footage in there.
Yeah.
So you can at least get through the 3-minute version and just see kind of, is this something I want to pay for? And
Yes.
yeah, and you said it was Austin. What's your name?
It's Austin.
Austin.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by and
you.
being open-minded.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a good day.
You too.